Aloitetaan siitä, että mitä mieltä hän on Suomen sananvapauden tilasta, kuinka kritiikkiä käsitellään.
I think it is still better than some other places. I mean, some other well-known European countries like UK or Germany, but it's still not the best. There are a lot of a lot of limitations, especially by the mainstream media, about like what to talk about and what not. Everything gets classified somehow under the same category, even if they don't belong to there. Whatever critique against certain group of people is immediately classified or is immediately categorized as Nazi act. Or for example, if it's not about other cultures than about religions, again, it would get you in the same area that you are classified as Nazi or so on. Sometimes only just having a different political thought, going a little bit to the right of Karl Marx, get you to be classified as hater or racist or Nazi. So, I mean, these names used to be hard to give back in time. Like, I mean, to call someone racist, they really needed to be racist. Nowadays, it is a title that's given easily to anyone. And the problem when this title is attached to those people, it becomes for them impossible to talk. Because now everyone, the public is trained to believe that these people are racist. And then automatically whatever they say is blocked after like 3 seconds of speech or whatever. Don't listen to that person. He is hater, he is Nazi. And for that, there is a huge part of the truth is never said. Because those people know the truth. But they are never given the opportunity to speak it out. So there is a huge part of the truth hidden at the moment. And hence, I don't believe there is enough free speech rights in Finland. No.
Sä oot sunnimuslimi. Niin voisitko sä lyhyesti kertoa niin kuin oman taustan sun uskonnollisuudesta? Onko sua kuinka opetettu, käynyt vähän koraanikoulusta kenties tai ylipäätään sitten minkälainen suhde sulla on uskontoon ollut aiemmin ja mikä nykyään tämänhetkinen tilanne?
In many Muslim countries, especially Arab Muslim countries, learning Quran or learning about Islam is not a choice. I mean, it starts at the 4th grade when we have a full book at the school and a full class called religion class. And of course, like when I speak about Libya, religion class means Islam because it's the only religion in there. I mean, 98% of citizens are Muslims. So it's not actually an option. We start at the age of 9 years old to be forced to learn that until the 12th grade. And then after that, I mean, it's already enough education about Islam that no one can choose to not to study that. Then comes also in parallel this kind of what you make a choice, what you choose to go for, like to go to the mosque and learn more about Quran and about Islam. Sometimes kids are forced to go there by either their parents or their uncles. I have been taken by my uncle to a Quran school when I was 8 years old. And in there, they don't show you actually flexibility to study that. It's kind of must. And if you don't study that, you are going to hell or so on. I remember the imam who used to teach me. He said if I don't remember one chapter of Quran, if I don't memorize it by heart, by the next day, I'm gonna receive a punishment. So I did. I learned it by heart, but not because I wanted. It's because I was scared that I will be punished.
What is that punishment?
Yeah, the punishment, the typical punishment in that time, I don't know actually if it's still going on, could be that we have something called falga. I don't know what will be the translation of that, but I can explain. It's when they when they tighten both your feet together, put it up, lift it up, and then someone else, like a second person, would be hitting it with a stick. So it's like 10 hits, sometimes 20. That's the punishment of not memorizing that chapter. Until the year 2004, I have seen it. But after that, I haven't been visiting like Quran schools. But I mean, I don't think it's a thing that would stop. I mean, there wasn't any intention, showing any intention of, we are doing it wrong and let's stop it. I mean, the same mentality continued. So I don't think it has stopped. And I'm sure in some other countries it's still there. I mean, in Libya, we are not still the most conservative, not conservative. We are not the most religious Islamic country, yet we are one of the most. But we are not the most. So I can believe in other countries it's still going on. They have actually even a belief that if you memorize some chapter of Quran by heart and then forget it later, that can lead person to go to hell. So they try to not to give you that option that you might forget it. So that's why they force kids to memorize and keep remembering it for the rest of their lives. So it's never a choice. In these schools, it's a must, and they force kids to learn.
Onko Vaasassa moskeijoita ja onko hän käynyt niissä ja minkälaista se oppi on siellä?
There is one mosque in here, which is considered as an Islamic center also at the same time. And there they try to be softer, like they teach also kids Quran and so on, but no punishments applied. But in here, for me, I can never know. They are not implementing any punishments. They are not applying any punishments. Is it because they don't want to, or is it because the Finnish law because the Finnish law forbids that? Like, I mean, how can you know? Like, what if there is no law against hitting kids? Would they use then the punishments? So usually for me, when it comes to this topic, I am never sure they're not punishing people because they don't want to or because they cannot. Then to know about that, I go and read the books on the shelves in the mosque. And then I find that, once actually if you cancel, or let's say that you pause a couple of laws in Finland for even a couple of months, you will see the real face of it. I mean, right now the Muslim community in Vaasa, or that goes to the mosque, seem to be like tolerant and safe. But the books on the shelves are not. I mean, there are common names, common Muslim scholars that majority of Muslims agrees on the originality of their books, and whatever they say is genuine, it's directly from the Prophet of Islam, and it has to be followed. Mainly Sunni Muslims, I believe. And these books, actually, if you read them, they are full of violence. And they are on the shelves of the mosques in Finland, and I have seen them here in Vaasa. The books are there, and just you read a little bit, you see they justify killing others, they justify whenever Muslims become majority, they justify implementing this jizya, which is kind of high taxes that must be taken from non-Muslims. So I mean, the books in there are they give you the impression of it's not a religion of peace, actually, as we hear, not even close. And it is not a religion of living with other cultures. Islam does not believe in multiculturalism. The thing that actually the left wing is talking about, that we need to adapt to accept Muslims in here, the multiculturalism. Islam does not believe in multiculturalism. It is one prayer group of people over the others. And when they become majority, they will demand more rights, and they will discriminate other minorities. Unfortunately, that's how it looks. So I think the education in the mosques, even here in Europe and in Finland, is leading to a disaster in the future. If we don't reform that, it's gonna lead to a disaster, no doubts.
Kuinkas Alex on otettu nyt vastaan näiden YouTube-videoiden jälkeen niin kuin muslimiyhteisön piirissä? Mikä on Aleksin vastaanotto ollut näiden jälkeen, kun hän on julkaissut?
I don't want to specify one group of people right now. I will try to take it in general. But in general, of course, what I'm talking about is disliked by most of the Muslim community. I mean, I have heard that in here. I have seen it at work. Where I work, there is actually, the department where I work, we are, the 1/3 of the staff is Muslims. And They spoke about that behind my back, not like directly to my face, except of two of them who came and told me directly, like, why are you doing that? You are, you are like raising hate, or like you are promoting hate against Muslim community. So I told them how showing the facts, only facts, is promoting hate. They were like two of them, they were like, you don't need to speak about these facts until we reform and until we modernize. So it's like, how can I trust? I mean, it has been no long history, you have never done that. How can I trust? But in the end, they reflect the opinion of the majority of Muslims as I know them, because I have heard the comments, and I have heard the reaction back home, from Libya. And I know what I'm talking about will be disliked by majority of Muslims, unfortunately. And that's why actually myself, I don't go to the mosque anymore nowadays. Because last time I have been there, I was harassed a bit because of these videos. People there, like, even they told me a word, which is like, God curse you. You are a traitor, God curses you. God curse you, why did you do that? Why are you talking like that about us? And so on. So, yeah, there are more dislikes, way more dislikes than likes by the Muslim community when it comes to my videos. Of course, there are few Muslims who endorsed what I have done so far, and they showed that they agree with me. And that's a good sign, actually, because it looked so far that those people are really rare, or maybe they don't even exist, but they are there. They just need to be empowered, and they need to be given protection. I mean, I have been there before them, and I know the amount of threats one would receive. But there is enough number of them in there, and I hope I will succeed to empower them to start talking. I hope so.
Entä pelkääkö Alex? Ja mitenkä tämä pelko voitaisiin poistaa, että nämä ystävätkin uskaltaisi tulla esille?
Of course, I have that fear, because I know the kind of punishments implemented on people who would criticize Islam in the way I do. Even I come from the same background. Even I said repeatedly in my videos that I'm still on their side. I'm still a Muslim. I would love to help them to integrate and reform. But I mean, nothing helps in the end. I still receive threats. And I know that I'm threatened. At least I know maybe in the future there will be countries I cannot even visit anymore. How to remove that fear is actually to make it a safe environment for all of us to speak here without being threatened.
Freedom of speech.
Yeah, freedom of speech. We need more free speech, and we need protection. We need actually some laws that whenever someone say this or that they shall be actually brought to justice. Like either threatening others or repeating some verses from like the hadith books or from Quran that indirectly make it totally fine to hurt us. I mean, some of these verses must be actually considered as hate speech. I mean, it's never considered as hate speech. I mean, someone come and shows up verses from like some hadith that whoever speaks this and that against the Prophet must be killed. And they don't tell you that directly, we are going to kill you, but they show this. Putting that in public, actually, and linking it to one of us, it means that you are allowing young Muslims, like some young brainwashed Muslims, you are actually giving them the permission to come after us. Because what I dislike about the administrators at the mosques in here, what I dislike about them is they don't act themselves, but they give the permission to others, for others to act, by publishing some kind of verses from Quran or whatever and linking it to us. Yeah, that guy matches this, hence now it is actually allowed to hurt him or kill him or whatever. And that's why we have to be worried about our safety, and we need more legislation to protect us against that, and more free speech for us to feel more comfortable to talk. So I think these two elements would maybe protect us more.
Eli sananvapaus on avain kaikki.
Indeed, it is. I mean, we have been promised that in here by those who call themselves, unfortunately, like they call themselves liberals, the tolerant ones. They promised us free speech, they promised us diversity, but in reality, it's not like that. It's like you either agree with them, you either agree with their agenda, or you will be called a hater or a Nazi, and your free speech rights will be taken away from you. So I really hope that we get this back. I hope so.